Stanley Kubrick is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. Each and every one of his films has had a huge impact on not only the movie industry but the entire art world. He is the epitome of what we now call a perfectionist. It's no surprise then that his work is now widely admired. As famous as he is, his films have generated a lot of controversy, and that controversy continues to this day. Almost all of his films have been talked about every time they've been released, and they've never gone unnoticed. Usually, the subjects of these controversies were different in each of his films, but there was one common thread: violence. In this video, we'll discuss the violence in his most controversial works, A Clockwork Orange. A Clockwork Orange is Stanley Kubrick's most controversial film to date. A Clockwork Orange is a dystopian crime movie that contains many gory and sexual scenes. These graphic scenes shocked many people at the time of its release and caused a lot of controversy. Some people even copied certain torture scenes from the film to commit crimes, and when they were caught by police, they said they were inspired by the film. Why did the director include so many disturbing scenes in the movie? Let's try to answer this question by interpreting a few scenes.
Can you spare some cutter, me brothers? Go on, do me in, you bastard cowards. We don't want to live anyway. Not in a stinking world like this.
Oh? And what's so stinking about it?
In this scene, the protagonist Alex and his gang are harassing a drunken old man on the street. There are a lot of things to analyze in this scene, such as the color and angle of the lighting and the camera angle, but the main thing we are going to focus on is blocking. The blocking of the gang members and the old man is such that the gang members are all standing and the old man is lying on the ground. This creates a visual dominance, a hierarchy, indicating their current relationship. The gang members looks down on the old man from above, and the old man looks up to them. The camera angle also looks at the old man from top to bottom, maximizing their relationship and conveying it to the audience. In the movie, there are scenes of Alex and his gang harassing innocent citizens, all with Alex on top. Up to this point, the blocking doesn't sound particularly interesting. But when we see a scene where Alex is underneath, the blocking becomes interesting. When Alex is taken away by the police, it's the complete opposite.
Dear, this boy does look a mess, doesn't he? Just look at the state of him.
Love's young nightmare like.
Violence makes violence. He resisted his lawful arresters.
Well, this is the end of the line for me. The end of the line, yes.
Alex is sitting on the ground, while the police and teacher are standing. In addition to visually establishing the hierarchy, The camera looks up at the teacher and cop in a POV shot, further reinforcing Alex's low hierarchical position. This blocking and camera angles further exaggerate the conquiring relationship between the perpetrator and the victim. But when Alex becomes a victim one moment and a bully the next, we might consider that maybe there isn't a complete victim and bully. Parents, teachers, police, doctors, government, and Alex himself are all perpetrators and eventually victims. In conclusion, he used violence as a medium. Unlike other people, he didn't reject violence in a black and white logic where it's just bad, but he looked at it more closely, thought about it, and tried to find the meaning behind it, the meaning of its existence. And he didn't glamorize violence in his films. He put the violence, the horror in the film, and as a result, a lot of people were offended by it at first. But over time, people gradually began to see his honesty and sincerity and realized that it wasn't the director's fault for putting the violence in the film, it was their own fault for unknowingly using it in their daily lives. Clockwork Orange is a great inspiration to many filmmakers today.